The Binding of the Wolf is a Norse myth that tells how the god Tyr lost his hand to the wolf Fenrir, who was one of 3 children of Loki and the giantess Angrboda. It had been foretold in a prophecy that Fenrir would bring the ultimate destruction of the gods, so they brought the wolf back to Asgard to be raised and watched over. Fenrir inspired so much fear in the gods that only one was brave enough to get close to him to feed him, and that god was Tyr. Every day he'd go to the wolf's pen and feed him until Fenrir grew too large and became too ferocious. They debated killing him, but bloodshed would desecrate Asgard, so they presented him with a tether in a game to test his might. The first was a strong chain, which the wolf broke with ease. The second provided a minor struggle, but Fenrir managed to break the chain. So the gods enlisted the help of the dwarves, who made a tether from the things that you cannot see, therefore cannot be challenged: the sound of a cat's footsteps, a woman's beard, the breath of a fish, the roots of a mountain, a bear's tendons, and the spittle of a bird. The tether was called Gleipnir. Fenrir was suspicious of this tether and would only agree to be bound if one of the gods placed their hand in his mouth. Only Tyr was brave enough to do so, and as Fenrir struggled, unable to break the tether, he clamped down and tore off Tyr's hand. The gods tied the bound wolf to a large boulder where they awaited his revenge on the day of Ragnarok. Oral storytelling was a crucial form of entertainment for Viking Age Scandinavians, especially when dealing with the long freezing winters or on very long voyages across oceans. Many of these stories were lost over time and died with those who spoke them. It wasn't until the 13th century that an Icelandic scholar named Snorri Sturluson wrote down the surviving stories in what is known as the Prose Edda. While many of us may see these stories as nothing but simple mythologies, for the ancient Scandinavians, much of these stories contained metaphors which reflected their daily lives. Despite having a fierce reputation as raiders and warriors, these ancient people upheld family as the most attainable thing of value. My family is primarily German and Scandinavian, and any time I read The Binding of the Wolf, I think about my mother and my grandmother. The story of Tyr and Fenrir shows us that carrying the full weight of the burden is sometimes necessary to enable the well-being of our families. That which binds the wolf brings resolution. However, these measures are rarely met with ease. The loss of the hand symbolizes the piece of ourselves that becomes lost when we overcome such struggles. And Tyr's actions demonstrate that absolution must sometimes be attained through self-sacrifice.